Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Chris and I'm from the BNB Chain Club. Today we'll show you how you can set up and run a BNB Smart Chain full node. For this tutorial, we'll follow the steps from our official documentation website. Running full node is supported on Mac, Linux, and Windows, and in our case, we will be running our node on an Amazon Linux 2 server. So I would like to highlight that if your server does not satisfy the suggested requirements, your node will not be able to sync to the latest block successfully. Setting up the node is fairly straightforward, so let's begin. So on our server, let's create a new folder for a node. I already created mine and I named it as BSC node. So let's go back to the guide. The first thing that we need to do is to download the pre-built binaries from the release page. So the release page, this one, at the moment we are at version 1.1.19. So depending on our platform, then we will download the applicable files. So we have here for Linux, Mac, and Windows. Since we are using Linux, we will just copy this one. Wait for the download to finish. Okay, now we have this Git Linux. We will just rename it to Git. Okay. Now it's here. And then make it as executable. Okay, so now we've completed step 1. Step 2 is to download the configuration files. So we'll just download the genesis.json and config.tml file. Okay, so we have it, mainnet.zip. Now we'll just need to unzip it. Okay, now we have the genesis and configuration file. Please note that there is no need to edit or modify these files. So when you download them, you can use them as is. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is to download a snapshot. So note that the current snapshot is now at around 1.9 TB. So we need to at least have double of the size because we need to uncompress the snapshot data before we start syncing. So let's go to this snapshots page. This is it, the snapshot page, and you will see here the link to our snapshot. Okay, so how to use it, you just need to download it. So if you need to speed up download, you just need to use ARIA2C. Okay, so just copy this one and then replace this with the current snapshot URL. Okay, just copy the link address and then replace this one. Okay, note that I already downloaded the snapshot in advance, since it's gonna take around 5 hours more or less depending on your connection to complete the download. So to save time, I already downloaded it in advance. So this is it. This is the snapshot. So let's see. Here I have already downloaded it. So the next thing that we need to do is to uncompress the snapshot. So for that, we need to run this script. So it's gonna take more than 2 hours to uncompress. So we can put it in the background. So to do that, we have to use no hop. So let's copy this one. Okay. To get the status. Okay. So it's now going to uncompress the snapshot data. This is gonna take a while, so I'm gonna pause the recording and then I'll be back once the snapshot has been fully uncompressed. Okay? See you later. Hi everyone, I'm back. So now we have the uncompressed snapshot data, and I have already deleted the snapshot tar file. So what we have now on our folder are the config files, the Git client, and then the uncompressed data. Okay, so we will just also remove the mainnet.zip, because we no longer need this one. Let's just remove this one. Okay, so what we have are these files. Okay, so if we go inside server, cd server, so we will have data seed and then Git. So we have inside Git folder the tree cache and chain data. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is put these two folders, tree cache and chain data, under our data directory. Okay, this one. Okay, so for our example, we named the data directory as node, but this is just a suggestion, and you can just point the data directory file to any folder containing the extracted chain data. Okay, but make sure that the folder make sure that you structure your files or your folders like this. Okay, so for example, let's go to server. Okay, now we create our node folder, and inside our node folder Git. Okay, okay, so this will be our data directory. So now we move the chain data folders and the tree cache folder. Okay, so I've already have server data seed to this one node Git chain data. Just move it. Okay, now the tree cache. So if we go to our node Git, okay, now we have the tree cache and chain data. Okay, so now we are ready to start our full node. oops, let's go to our main folder. Okay, actually we can delete this server folder now. So it's server. Okay, so we just have the config file, Genesis, Git, and then our data directory. Okay, now we can start our full node. So same as when we download our snapshot, we will just use no hub. Okay, so we can have this in the background. Okay, okay, then click enter. Then let's see the logs. Okay, sorry. Out. Okay. If we see the nohub.out, it will show this four lines, starting git on Ethereum mainnet, maximum peer count, and then the last one will be option no USB is deprecated. This is expected. Okay, by default it is expected that you will only see these logs. Okay, what you need to do is go to the node folder, cd node, and then check the BSC log. Okay, by default all the git logs will be entered on your BSC log. Okay, so we need to monitor this one to see the status of our node syncing. Hey everyone, I'm back. So I left the node running for about 10 minutes. So let's see the status now. Let's check the BSC log. Okay, so if we open BSC log, we can see that the node is still importing blocks. So if you see here, imported new chain segment, blocks 26, transactions, and then age 1 week. Okay, so if you go to our guide, okay, so if we see these types of log messages, that means that our node has started syncing. Okay, so the node that we have is actually syncing. Okay, and then I'll show you how you can monitor the status without checking the bsc.log file. Okay, we can do that by starting the git javascript console. Okay, I'll just paste the command here. Okay, the first thing we can check is if that's syncing. Okay, so this command will display the current block our node is currently in. Okay, if it displays these types of information, that means that our node is still syncing. But if it displays it outputs false, that means our node is already up to date to the current block. Okay, so our current block is this one. Let's check BSC scan. Okay, that means our node is still behind 7 days, so it needs to run for a few more minutes or hours. Okay, what else? Eat that block. aside from this one, you can also some other useful commands will be net peer count. Okay, so this says that our node is currently connected to 7 peers. Okay. What else? We also have here admin.node.info. So this will say this will display information that is related to your node. So you can see here the Git version. Yeah, this is 1.1.19, and we have here the network 56. 56 is the BNB smart chain mainnet. Okay, so let's just exit this one. Okay. Hello everyone. Sorry for the time skip. It has been a few days after I set up our node. Now I want to show you how our node that has been synced to the latest block looks like. Okay, so first let's check the bsc.log entries. Oops. Okay, you see, if you check here, we are now getting import new chain segment, and then the blocks are the block value is always 1, and then the timestamp for the import logs. Okay, the difference between each log is almost around 3 seconds, always around 3 seconds. Okay, this is expected behavior because the chain actually creates blocks every 3 seconds. Okay, now let's run this again and then get the latest block. Get the latest and check in BSC scan. We can see that, oops, hold on. It's actually from 13 seconds ago, which is very new. Now let's use the Git JavaScript console to check the node status. Okay, and then let's run ETH syncing. Okay, now it's returning false. This means that our node is synced to the latest block successfully. Okay, because if you remember last time when we queried ETH syncing, it actually showed us a lot more information. Okay, it showed us the current block and then the highest block. Okay, now let's try this command, ETH block number. Okay, okay, looks like a BSC scan hasn't published that block yet. Okay, looks like our node is the block number isn't in BSC scan yet at the time. Okay, so this is expected because this is a very new block. Okay, so the block number returns the latest block on your node, and then you can compare it to the current height in BSC scan. Okay, so I guess that's it for our tutorial. So my main goal for this video is to be able to show you how you can follow our documentation guide and start your own node using the default configuration files and startup commands. Okay, and then perform some basic checks to find out if your node is syncing or not, and then that's it. Yeah, I really hope that you learned something today. I appreciate your time and see you later in the next videos. Bye, everyone.